All right, graveyard talkers. Well, today we're here at Rath Cemetery, again in Raisonville Township. As you know, I'm kind of sort of just staying around my local area where I live, out on a busy street here, so you're apt to hear cars and trucks go by like this pickup that's going by now. So we're in a cemetery that had its first burial. It's a township cemetery in Raisonville Township. So it had its first burial sometime around um, 1895, and of course, it's still an active cemetery, so it's had a cemetery not long ago. I'm going to do a two-parter here. The second part that I'm going to do, this one's just generic with all those that are here around me, but you can't see behind the camera. I am behind the family Rath. I don't know. There's nothing really saying what their relationship is to Rath Cemetery, Rath Cemetery. So I don't know if they own this land at one time or what, but anyways. So the first one we'll do with generic, and then I want to go over to the back, and I want to find a gentleman that was murdered. And we'll talk more about that when we get back there and see if we can't talk to him directly. He was murdered in 2011, 10 or 11. So let's get this one here going. So my name is Randy, and Topa's here as always, sitting down here beside me. Making sure that I'm okay. Sorry about that. Drop the microphone. And we're here to talk to anyone that is in any of the spirits that is in Rath Cemetery who would like to talk to us. This is no judgment zone. Whatever you'd like to talk about, we'd like to talk about, whether you're a good spirit or a dark spirit. We don't care. We just would like to talk to you and get your story out to those people who are watching. I have this device. I have a little speaker that I can hear you on, and I have my little phone that you can talk to or through it to me, which will go into the speaker. So you don't need to be afraid. So here we go. Anybody here at Rath Cemetery wish to reach out to us and talk to us today? So this is actually the day after Christmas, and for Michigan, it's a fairly warm day for December. We're right around close to 50 degrees, a little wet. Not really. Nobody really wants to talk to me, or just you? One of us. Well, for a long time, this was a cemetery that I had decided the wife and I would be buried in, but I since changed my mind, and now we're going to be placed into a national cemetery when the time comes. Um, other than the traffic, this is a pretty good, quiet area. Yeah. Satanized? How is it satanized? It is. So are you saying that this is a cemetery? Are you saying this is a cemetery filled with dark spirits in it? Because not long ago I was next door and next door is the Prince of Peace, and or known as Matthew Cemetery back in its day. It's a churchyard cemetery. And there was a dark spirit in there who did want to do me harm. Is he from over here? So is the dark spirit from Prince of Peace, Matthew Cemetery over here? All right, I didn't hear any responses on that. A lot of cars going by. I'm surprised how many are going by on a work day, but there are a lot. This is the main road into the back area, into the back town here. Anyone have anything to say? Tope and I are here. We're listening. We'd answer any questions you have. Anything you want to talk about. I heard help, and then I heard Tara a few minutes later, a few seconds later. Is there something or someone in this cemetery that you all are afraid of? Yes. And who or what is that? So who or what would you be afraid of? Do you have a name of the person that you're afraid of? He's walking my way. Is that what you said? He's something my way. All right, so I heard something about he's walking my way. Now I'll look around to see if I see anything. Let me get out of your way here for just a second. I'm not seeing anything. All right, where is the person wanting to do harm to anybody? I'm not quite sure where the dark energy might be. I don't feel anything. I'm not. My spidey senses aren't picking up on me. So let's try with some generic. So does somebody want to tell me what they used to do out here while they were alive? All right, now that the cars have gone by, let's try it again. Somebody said forever. Someone said forever, and somebody said they were walking. Are you walking forever, or is it the cars coming by forever? Or you've been here forever? Some of you have been here well over 120 years. So I'm here next to the Bound family, Luana and John. So Luana and John, are you here? So John was a quartermaster in the United States Army. He was a sergeant in the United States Army, born in 1890 and passed away in 1963. So yeah, I see it underneath it. He was a World War I veteran. John, you served in World War I? And you were a quartermaster? Supplies, yeah. So quartermaster generally would deal with getting the supplies allocated out to the, in keeping, warehousing the supplies for the troops, the companies. John, were you overseas in France? Yes. And John, were you behind the lines or did you see action? All right, John. And where were you mainly stationed at? Around? Okay. Well, I'm not versed on the big military bases for the Army in World War One. And John, what was your most memorial time? What was your best time you had when you were in the Army? I'm not quite, I'll have to really listen to that and see if it come out what it heard. It was almost immediately after I got done talking. He said in the rear. If that's right, he's probably correct. His most memorial time was in the rear. Those who served in um, any type of wartime always knew your best time was in the rear when you weren't fighting the enemy. Something like that. John, how many years did you serve in the military? I heard something of what I thought I heard. I thought I heard what difference does it make, and then I thought I heard multiple. And one of the things that I do believe, I think there's jokers out here. We always want to believe that in the afterlife, what you tell us or what we hear is the truth. I think we have pranksters out here, and I think we have liars out here. I think that there are those spirits who like to come through the spirit box and like to throw garbage out to throw us off. We already know that there's spirits out here who don't like us being out here. We know that there's spirits who are malevolent, let me try a different word, that just don't care that we're out here. I can't even say it, but you know what I mean. And then we know that there are spirits out here who seek us, and they're the ones who are coming through the spirit box and talking to us. So hopefully we really were talking to John and John Bound, and it looks like he joined in Nebraska, or at least his home state was in Nebraska back in back in those days, people were more apt to go to fight. While it was nationalized in World War One, prior to World War One, you were really still the units were still statewide. You know, if you think about the Civil War, you joined in the state for the state. And probably about World War One, you probably joined for the country, but he may have been in the National Guard for the state of Nebraska. John, you have anything else you'd like to talk about before I pick up and move to another part of the cemetery? Anybody else here have anything else to say before we move? Anything you want to talk about? We have plenty of time. I'm on really no time frame, but if you have something that you would like to get across, now is the time to talk to me. Is there someone who would like to talk directly to Topa? And as I tell everyone, all the spirits in every cemetery we go to, Topa's friendly. If you're able to reach out and pet her, she will let you pet her. She does see, I believe she does see people in the cemetery. There are sometimes she will react. I've only seen her scare at one time in the cemetery where she was physically shaken. But if there's someone here who'd like to reach out and pet Topa, you're more than welcome to do that. Boy, I don't know what happened. My volume just absolutely died. I'm having a little problem with my volume. Wow. So the speaker does not have a volume control on it, and my speaker on my phone is up all the way, but I can barely hear. And it shows my speakers up all the way on the program. So someone is saying, I think they're saying it's time to go. So we're going to cut it short here. I'm going to try to figure out what the issue is. This is weird. I've never had this happen before. And you can hear it still playing, but it's like no volume. So I need to figure out what's going on. And again, thank you for joining us on this episode of Graveyard Talkers. And as I always say, I can't make this channel any better without you. Please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, leave a comment. We would appreciate that. If you have anything you'd like to add, things we can do, questions we can ask, places we can go. Can't go to a whole lot of places right now, but we'll try to go where we can. But anyways, we will see you on the next one.